morning, welcome back. The time is 8:46 and it's paper time. And joining us to go through the papers in more detail this morning is former editor of the Daily Star, Dawn Neeson, and writer and journalist Andy Jones. Good morning to you both. And Andy, we'll start with you, shall we? On the front page of the Express, worst offenders in call handling is the tax office.
Yeah, this will surprise absolutely nobody who's been self-employed for any given amount of time. The Express has done a ring-around in every sense of all of our biggest call centres and found that the HMRC is absolutely the worst. Call waiting times over 3 hours sat on the phone.
Ridiculous.
Trying to pay your bill. I've been self-employed for a very long time. If you try and pay your bill on British Gas or whatever, you log in and there's a big blob that says pay your bill. HMRC is absolutely hidden. There's no big writing as to pay your bill. There's no information about how much you have to pay. You have to log in and then you go onto your messages, then you go into a statement box, then you go to somewhere else. And then even when you find the amount that you owe, you've then got to manually input it and then manually input all your bank details. It's really, really repetitive and tedious. And you'd think with the income that they have, they would have done some focus groups and some research as to how people are using their site. And that's before you even call them. And then you ring up and then you can't get hold of anybody. They don't know what you want. They say, why don't you look on your website? If you look on the website. We're all familiar with this round and round and round and round. But with the income going into HMRC, especially when you know when the peak times of the year are going to be when people pay, all you want to do is pay your bill. It should be so easy to pay your bill.
It just makes me glad I pay an accountant now.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
So they sort that all out for me.
Well, the worst times I've had with HMRC are trying to get a rebate.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they're so easy and quick to tax you too much, and then you try and get your own money back, which shouldn't have been taken in the first place. Hours I've spent on the phone. Absolutely hours.
It's soul-destroying, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they say, oh, it'll come through in a letter in about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Dawn had someone that had to run off to answer the front door the other day, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, to be fair, it was a while ago. It was just as we were coming out of one of the lockdowns. I can't remember one. And, you know, everyone was working from home then. Some of them still are, obviously. And I was on the phone for hours waiting to get through, and then my government gateway number was wrong. And it goes, so I finally got through to this lovely lady. I think she was in Wales, if I remember rightly. And we're going through all the complicated bits and pieces. I could hear a doorbell go in the background. And the doorbell kept going, so it was obviously quite urgent. And she goes, I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to go and answer the door. And it's like, OK, it's locked down, I get these things happen, but it was just surreal. Trying to sort out this complicated maths and stuff. And she had to go and answer to, I don't know, an Amazon delivery or something or other.
Yeah.
Oh, complicated.
It's weird. It's a weird world. Man, it could get even weirder, Dawn, if the Times is right, because the Met Police want to predict future crime.
Yeah, it's actually a very good story, because the Times story on Saturday where, you remember that headline really annoyed me, where it's like, the police, we will start investigating crimes. It's like, OK, that was annoying. But this is actually a fairly positive story. The Met will become the first police force to use predictive data on suspects in lower-level sex offences, such as indecent exposure. Now, we all remember the horrific Wayne Couzens, who started off his career with flashing. But it wasn't logged, it wasn't registered. And this is shocking, Ellie, in particular. 1 in 20 flashers go on to escalate to being rapists. I mean, and we're not actually logging the people committing the low-level sexual offences, but they often go on to commit further crimes. So this is it's predictive data. It's going to be the first force in the country to do it, and they're drawing up a list of London's top 100 most dangerous sex offenders, and they're going to predict which ones are more likely to go on to, you know, progress from flashing, which, by the way, is horrific and is sexual.
That is horrific.
It is
but
sexual.
How do you make that work?
Right, OK, it's a very complicated...
And I know people won't like it, but these people who've committed low-level offences and done their time or whatever, once that's done, they are free citizens and you can't harass them.
Of course they are. No, it's not harassing them, it's just keeping...
It's monitoring, isn't it?
Yeah, monitoring their details on the database and sort of, like, using this predictive data. It's quite complicated, the formula that does it. Thanks for asking, Stephen. But basically, hopefully, look, if it stops another Wayne Couzens, it has to be a very good thing, surely.
Well, yeah. Balancing act, though, with it, isn't there?
There is, I get that, but I tell you what, I mean, it's like... It's so shocking that, you know, indecent, you know, it's sort of like flashing wasn't even a criminal offence, you know, at one point, and that wasn't that long ago.
But we as a society need to be more willing, I think, to report that kind of level of indecent exposure, because when I was at the Wayne Couzens hearing of his Metropolitan Police colleague, and who was in charge of kind of reporting it up the chain, the fast food restaurant where he'd first bashing hadn't reported it the first time. It was only when he did it the second time that they actually reported it. So, I mean, could he have been caught quicker?
Well, absolutely, yeah, there is
We
that
all need to be
Horrific.
better at reporting it. OK, Andy, let's have a look at care homes, shall we, in the Express?
Yeah, it's a story that's in a couple of different papers as well. But around 1 in 5 care homes is failing. Shock figures reveal we've got 14,500 facilities in the country who are looked after by the Care Quality Commission. Over 2,500 of those are inadequate or require improvement. Obviously, it's not just an issue of funding. It's an issue of people don't necessarily want to go into care worker staff. The pay is really, really bad. And the most elderly and the most frail who require the most care are often the ones who are suffering the hardest. Because it's such complicated care that they then can't pay for them. They're around 17% of care homes are rated as requiring improvement. And also, this is the other thing, it's only going to get worse without making it all bad news today. We've got around 500,000 posts at the moment in the care industry. We're going to need 2.5 million by 2035, as obviously the population gets older and older, population growth, etc.
It's too depressing to even dissect that one.
Yeah.
Let's cheer ourselves up, Dawn, with our favourite ever children's TV programme.
This is a bit of fun in The Guardian,
Yes,
things you
please,
don't often say. And they have, basically, because it's the summer holidays, it's raining, so kids are sitting in watching more telly, obviously, and they've asked Guardian writers to pick the 50 greatest kids' TV shows ever. So, right, Stephen, what's your greatest kids' TV show? What did you enjoy?
Play School.
Oh, which was your favourite doll, toy?
Jemima. Jemima, but it was Fluella Benjamin.
Oh, it's fab, isn't she? Ellie, yours is going to be something from 2 years ago, sure.
Pingu?
Oh,
Pingu's on the list.
Is Pingu on the list?
Yeah, absolutely. Play School's on the list. Pingu's on the list.
I was having a brain. Probably Biker Grove, I used to remember watching.
Hold on, just check.
And Deck. That's not
Can't
made
see Biker Grove, no.
So what's coming in at number 1?
Well, I mean, it's not. They're not ranked in order. They're ranked in sort of age groups that kids are watching. But it's Batman. The husband loved Batman. But Take Heart. I loved Take Heart as a kid. I used to religiously send pictures in, and they always were never used.
Rent a Ghost is there.
Rent a Ghost.
That was a cracker.
But the Clangers. Anyone remember the Clangers?
Yeah.
Did you like the Clangers?
Yeah.
I used to like what's the one with the trapdoor? Don't you open that trapdoor? That was great with the plasticine.
Is it called Trapdoor?
Yeah, I think it's called Trapdoor. I loved it so much I've forgotten what their name was.
And there was Bagpuss. Can't forget Bagpuss. I love Bagpuss.
Yeah, Bagpuss, yeah.
Anyway, on that lovely old note...
Nostalgia.
I'm going to yawn now. And go back to sleep like Bagpuss. Dawn, Andy, thanks very much.
Thank you.